Hi, I'm Elizabeth. Welcome to my universe. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, I mentioned in my trailer that I was going to talk about what was the catalyst that set this whole Elizabeth's universe in motion. And I want to say the universe works in mysterious ways. And I truly, truly believe that. I've been a seeker my whole life. I've been following clues in order to make my life a much more enjoyable journey, and I'm having a great time. And, you know, I do things when I'm compelled to do them. I can count on one hand the number of times I've been compelled to do something. And Elizabeth's universe is one of those times. So here I am. The other times it's worked out so great for me. And I'm really super excited about this journey and to see where it goes. Okay, so the catalyst. In 2002, this is where I say that the universe works in mysterious ways. In 2002, I went to see her, and amongst other things, she told me that it was imperative that I look after my eyes. She reiterated that a couple times throughout the reading, that I look after my eyes. Fast forward, I'm in a new acting class. You know, I get to talking to the actors, and I'm talking to one actor, and she tells me that she is also an optometrist. Make sure you look after the eyes. I hear the serious voice in the back of my head, so I make an appointment with her, and she finds something wrong with my eyes, and she sends me to a specialist, and I've been seeing the specialist ever since. Okay, in the last year, my eyes have gotten a lot worse. I've been diagnosed with Serous Chorioretinopathy, which is basically a disease, an eye disease, that I can go blind like that. Now, the point was driven home to me about a month ago when I had an audition on the same day that I had to go for my injection. And I chose to go for the audition, and I postponed the injection by a week. When I went for my injection and I had to read the chart, well, I was in for a surprise because I was blind in my left eye. I couldn't see the chart at all. It happened that fast. You know, and it made me realize that my eyesight is really important to me. And without my eyesight, my quality of life is drastically different. Without my eyesight, my husband's quality of life is drastically different. So when COVID happened and the C-19 vax started being mandated by our government, I took a wait-and-see attitude. Now, one of the jobs that I've been doing for the last 25 plus years is standardized patient work. I role play different medical scenarios for first to fourth year medical exams, pharmaceutical exams, and psychiatric workshops. And one of the things that doing SP work has taught me is to listen to my body and to do my research when it comes to putting any kind of pharmaceutical drug in my body. Now, I'm going to say right now, I am not against vaxes. I am not against, you know, pills. All of that stuff, it serves a purpose. I mean, I'm getting injections in my eye. Without them, I'd be blind. So, you know, they serve a purpose. I'm not disputing that. And I'm not a nurse, so I'm not saying you've got to do this or you get... No. All I'm about is putting some information out there that was really important for me to find out. And maybe it's important for you to find out too. Maybe it's important that you hear it, you know, that it come into your energy field. So here we are in Elizabeth's universe. Okay. And this was the catalyst. Came across an article that says that the FDA was court-ordered to hand over the Pfizer documents that they used to make the vaccines available to the populace. Okay, so that this was the information that they deemed safe and that they could do mass vaccinations. And when the FDA was asked by the, and I want to get this right, this was an American nonprofit organization that requested this information of the FDA. It's called the Public Health and Medical, I'm just reading it here, the Public Health and Medical Professionals for Transparency. It's a nonprofit organization made up of health professionals and scientists and journalists who have come together for the sole purpose of getting and examining the data relied upon by the FDA to license COVID-19 vaccines. So they were asked to release the data, and they said, no, we're not going to do that. Freedom of Information Act, we're not going to do that. They refused the Freedom of Information Act request. Now, the Freedom of Information Act, that's an important act. And I'm going to read what it does, why it exists. The Freedom of Information Act exists to enhance accountability and transparency of federal institutions in order to promote an open and democratic society and to enable public debate on the conduct of those institutions. Without the Freedom of Information Act, institutions can do whatever they want and nobody would question them or could question them. So that's why it exists. It's really important. But the FDA says, well, I'm not going to give you the information. So the Public Health and Medical Professionals for Transparency took them to court. And they just won their case earlier this year. And the judge ordered the FDA to release the information. And the FDA says, well, hang on a sec. Okay, we'll release the information, but we're going to do it in 75 years. 75 years? It's going to take you 75 years to release the information? Why wouldn't you release the information in the here and now where it would do the most good for the population? Where the population could make an informed decision as to whether or not they want to put this vaccine in their body, whether or not they have a pre-existing condition that might, work contra with this vaccination, or a medication that might work contra with this vaccination. But no, they wanted 75 years to release the information, and the judge said no. This is and I'm going to read you what the judge said, or just a little line. I mean, he said a lot, and I swear it's really good to read it because there's some good information there. But I'm going to give you this line here. The court concludes that this FOIA, that's Freedom of Information Act request, is of paramount public importance. Paramount public importance. So instead of granting the FDA's decision or the FDA's request to have 75 years to put out this data, the judge said, no. I want you to release a certain amount of information every month, of data every month, until it's all released. And there's about 300,000 pages. So they released, I think it was 30,000 pages in March, and now April 1st, they just released another 11,000 pages. They figured it'll take, close to the end of the year before they have all the information released. But it's really important information to look at. I came across, while doing my research, a list, and I have it right here, a list of adverse events of special interest. This was part of the Pfizer documents just released. There's 9 pages, single-spaced, close together, and I'm going to show you these at the end of this this little taping here. I'm going to copy this information or video this information so that you can have a look at it. But I think it's worth getting onto this website, the Public Health and Public Transparency. What is it? The Public Health and Medical Professionals for Transparency website. I think it's worth taking a look at it. Okay, so to continue. Okay, so I come across this list. It's FDA, Pfizer list here. And I start going through it to see if I can find anything that's related to the eyes. And right off the bat, on the first page, I see it's, I can see it's like, it just at me, okay? Acute macular outer retinopathy. That's one of the serious adverse events of special interest, okay? I come across that right off the bat, and I proceed to look through other things, and I come across, and here, check it out. Retinal artery embolism, retinal artery occlusion, retinal artery thrombosis, retinal vascular thrombosis, retinal vasculitis, retinal vein occlusion, retinal artery thrombosis, retinal vascular thrombosis, retinal vasculitis, retinal vein occlusion, retinal vein thrombosis, retinal binding protein decreased, retinopathy. There's other things. Other eye adverse events. But it's not just the eyes. You know, because of the eyes, I mean, after seeing the serious adverse events of special interest, I made a decision right then and there. There's no way that I'm going to put this vax in my body because I don't want to go blind. And there's a distinct possibility, as far as I'm concerned, that that could happen. Okay? For me, personally, I am making a choice that the risks outweigh the benefit, and I'm not going to put it in my body. My eyesight is way too important to me to lose it. And so is my quality of life. Okay? But as I'm reading all of this, I realize that this 9 pages, this affects everything. Every part of the body is affected here. The heart, the liver, the brain, the eyes, the kidneys, the respiratory system, the circulatory system, cardiac, there's paralysis, the liver, the lungs. This is 9 pages of serious adverse events. Now, usually when you get a prescription, it's got a list there that says, oh, if you've got, you know, this, and this, or if this, and this happens. You don't get that with this C19 vax. People were herded to have this vax, and now this information is being released, and people are experiencing horrible symptoms, horrible adverse events. And that's what breaks my heart. Because honestly, I didn't have it. So I don't need to worry about this because I made a choice. But there are people out there that did have it, and whose lives now are ruined because of it. And that is what lit a fire under me. I just don't think that, you know, the government should have mandated them. I think where there's risk, there must be choice. And the government painting everybody with the same brush, I think was a horrible, horrible crime against humanity. I really do. And I guess that's why I'm here. You know, I said earlier that the universe works in mysterious ways. Well, if it hadn't been for my eye disease, and if it hadn't been for COVID happening, and if it hadn't been for these CVAX being mandated, Elizabeth's universe, I don't know that it would actually exist, to tell you the truth. So, the universe does work in mysterious ways. Here I am. Hello. I can't believe this. I mean, I really, in a way, I'm kind of giddy just because it's really lighting a fire under me. And like I said, the last, 5 times in my life that I've had the fire lit under me have been absolutely beautiful rides. They've been, I've learned a lot through all of them, and that's why I think it's important I believe that learning is seeing the relationship in things. And I think that if you learn to tap into the energy of the universe, that life, especially now in these heightened times that we live in, I think it's really important to have a center. And I guess that's why I'm doing this now. Mine is not to question why. When the universe calls, you answer, and at least I do. And here I am in Elizabeth's universe. So, I hope you found our chat informative, and I hope that you join me for another chat. And there's a like button and there's a subscribe button, and I'd love for you to come along with this ride. Come along on this ride with me. Thank you so much for listening. Put your comments underneath. I'm interested in what you have to say. If you have any questions, anything at all, as long as it's respectful, let's keep it respectful, please. Thanks very much. Ciao for now.